Hello and welcome back to my channel. We'll have a reading today, and it's going to be what would your relationship be like with them. And I sounded like a robot, but whatever. So we have 3 piles over here, and let's see what these piles are about to tell us. So take a moment, or just pick one right out. I don't care, or just take 10 minutes. You can pause it and take an hour. Just do whatever you think is good for you. So we have 3 piles. There's pile number 1, number 2, and number 3. I will start with the first one, and the second one, and the third one. Okay, so here we have pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1, or choice number 1. We have 3 cards over here: Queen of Wands, Strength, and 6 of Swords. So let's see what these cards are trying to tell us. So the Queen of Wands, it's a good card to have in this type of reading. I mean, this card tells us about good relationship, loving and social relationship. You guys could be going out and talking to other people and those type of things. However, this card could tell us that you could be a little bit too much into each other. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. I mean, maybe it's a good thing. Why not? Now, if this card does represent you in the reading, it tells us that you are strong enough to do whatever it is you want to do. And the interesting thing is that we got the 8th card, the Strength card over here, and it pretty much in this setting over here tells us the exact same thing. Yes, you can, even if you're uncertain about some things, you can do whatever it is you have in your mind, on your mind. Now, 6 of Swords over here, it's not the best, not the worst card to have. It just maybe warns you not to bring troubles from your past into this relationship. So whatever it is you had in the past, you shouldn't bring it into the current relationship, or whatever relationship that you have in mind. Like, that's what it would be like. So would be good. So I mean, generally this relationship would be good. I mean, and another thing is that this card tells you that it's okay to help someone, as long as they're not going to end up, like, as long as you are not going to end up carrying their burdens. So like the burdens that don't belong to you, the troubles, the problems, you shouldn't deal with them. Just help them, but they shouldn't be yours. But overall, this reading is like a good one, I think. And another thing that's worth mentioning is that the 8th, like the number 8 and the 8th card, tell us about like momentum and acceptance and exception. Like, people will see your vision and they will go along. So like people will like your relationship. I guess they will accept it, because sometimes people don't, as if it's any of their business. But I mean, I thought it was worth mentioning. And anyway, I hope you like this reading, and come back for more. Have a good one. Hello, pile number 2, or choice number 2. So let's see what would your relationship be like with them according to these cards, to this pile. And we have 3 cards over here: the Devil, 3 of Pentacles, and 5 of Pentacles. And okay, so if this reading doesn't resonate with you, you can just like find a different pile, because these cards don't look too promising to me. Or maybe that person is just a jerk and you wouldn't have a good relationship with them, but maybe not. I will try telling you what these cards are trying to say. But okay, well, like, so we'll start with the Devil, with the first card, and then it basically tells us about like addiction and obsession. And maybe you wouldn't have no love for that person, you would just have lust. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that person would be obsessed with you and addicted. when this card pops up in a relationship, and which this reading is all about, it shows that that person would be hard to resist, and it tells us about sexual power. Maybe it's not a bad thing after all. And see, if this card, if there was a court card, like such as page, knight, or queen, or king, it would suggest an unhealthy codependency, like an unhealthy relationship. But we're, good that we don't have such cards here with this cards. But I just felt like mentioning it to you. Now, Three of Pentacles. It tells us that there is a further opportunity. So maybe this relationship could work after all. But it tells us that you will have to work on this relationship. Now, and if you work hard, you will be rewarded. However, it does tell us about like earthly concerns, and combined with this card, like there could be like maybe like money problems, maybe even health problems, or other challenges. You could be, this card as well could tell you that you could be not in a happy place, like you won't feel too good. But however, this card might tell you that you're not alone as you might think, and true friends will always stand by you, even if it's just the two of you. So maybe just like the two of you, meaning you and whatever person you had in mind for this reading, like the relationship with them. So it would be like a very interesting relationship. Like, yeah, maybe it wouldn't even be love, it would be just like lust and obsession and like, oh, oops, didn't mean to say that word, which I didn't, the F word. I mean, there would be a lot of sexual power, obsession, lust, and you'll have to work on this relationship, and you might feel, like there would be like some problems or whatever. It's a very interesting set of cards, and and it's very hard to sum it up. Well, another thing is that this card tells us that you shouldn't give up hope. So if you want to have lust and you want to have obsession and you want to work on that relationship, and some people might not agree with this relationship, but the Five of Pentacles suggests us that you don't need other people, you just need each other. That's what it tells us. So I mean, if you're into that kind of kink, go for it. If not, then just good thing you didn't. I hope you liked this confusing reading, and I hope it resonated with you. And if it didn't, just click onto the next pile. And I hope you come back for the next reading and you have a good one. Thank you for watching. Hello, pile number 3, or choice number 3. So we have 3 cards over here, and let's see what these cards are gonna tell us about what would your relationship be like with that person, with them, or well, that particular person that you have in mind. So we have 4 of Wands, Knight of Swords, and 3 of Cups. And actually, I'll tell you one thing: if you haven't picked the other piles, this pile is probably the most positive one that popped up or showed up, the way the cards fell out. So let's start with the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands, the 4th actually, relate to the Emperor, and the number 4 signifies stability. And no matter where this card falls in the reading, it's a good card to have. So, well, that's a good thing to start with, right? Now, this card tells us about success. However, there should be more. There is more work that needs to be done. So it would be a good relationship, but it would need some more work for it to be more successful. Another card that it does, another thing that this card stands for is actually happy family. And again, it does stand for successful relationship, or it could even actually stand for an actual wedding. So, you could marry that person that you had in mind. Now, Knight of Swords over here. This Knight of Swords, it's a confident knight. And with that confidence, it tells us that there's you should be careful, you shouldn't be too confident. And again, it tells us that there's more work is needed in this type of setting over here. So again, this card tells us that it tells us about success, and it tells us that there's more work that needs to be done. And this card kind of tells the exact same thing, and it tells it represents like free speech and like young and fresh relationship. And if it is your idea, like if you have an idea to be in this relationship, then it's time to charge, like just do it. That's what this card tells us. Now, Three of Cups, a very good card I think for this thing. It's again, 3 is a number of action, so an action should be taken. And this card tells us about, I think that if it's your idea, you should charge. So Three of Cups, again, it's a card that tells us about passion, new beginnings, opportunity, and things such as like creating your own circle, so your own relationship. So, and like a silly thing that, like, if you look at this card, look at the 3 girls over here. What are they celebrating over here? They're actually celebrating that they are together. So whatever this relationship that you're thinking of, whatever the person is actually is a good relationship. That, it would be a positive one. So just to sum it up for you. And I hope you like this reading, and I hope you come back for more. And you have a good one.